Here's my XR600 Project. It's a 1995 and it's had quite a history. I've had it for a long time and it's in need of a lot of facelifting and a lot of things replaced on it. This time I took it apart to rebuild it because I was having a little bit of a problem with the engine. Everything ran great. When it was idling, it would miss on occasion and there'd be a fairly loud clicking, chinking type noise coming from the top end. So you see I've got the engine out here, I've got it over here on the bench, and I have it covered up so I won't get dust and things on it. But I took the head off and you can't really see any damage or anything going on here. I took the camshaft out right here. But the timing chain that comes up through here, I think it was loose, and I think it was flapping a little bit in there and possibly causing the decompressor on the camshaft to slightly engage. I think it was causing the miss because it was a fairly distinctive miss, and when it would miss, I could hear that clinking noise in there. So I'm going to clean this all up. You'll see it's been pretty dirty. I've had it in several races and lots of other things. I'll leave that for a minute. But the other thing that I've got going on here is the rear shock. I have it taken apart right now, and maybe I'll have a video later of getting that put back together. I need to get parts for it and that kind of thing, and maybe a few tools to actually get it put back together. But this thing was so full of sludge and nasty oil in there. I don't think it's ever been serviced in its entire life. So it was bottoming really bad. The rear suspension was not working at all. And as you can see, this bump stop is just deteriorated and nasty. And so it needs to be replaced. All the oil definitely needs to be replaced, needs to be cleaned up. So lots of work to do on that. But more on that in another time. Other than that, the swing arm actually is working pretty good. I've been keeping those zerks greased on the linkage, but at the very top it's a little stiff, so I think I'm going to take it all out and make sure it's good and clean and replace any bearings if necessary. Other than that, the biggest thing is the paint. I did a Rust-Oleum paint job on this last time. The stock color is actually white, and you can kind of see where some of the paint has been scratched off, where you can see the white coming through. And that Rust-Oleum was kind of designed to be painted over at least a little bit of other paint. It took most of the white off, but some of it was still there. And it worked okay, except for the Rust-Oleum in some places was either so hard that it just chips, or you can see here there's all these chips, or it was really soft, which for whatever reason I had up here on the top, and you can see that the fuel, if I spilled any fuel or dripped any oil where I filled, the oil filler is actually right here in the front of the frame. And that softer paint just absorbed it, so it looks terrible and you can't clean it. So I'm going to go through and tear all that off and maybe try a different kind of paint. There's lots of different kinds out there, but I'd love to do powder coat, but I don't have an oven big enough for the. Actually, I have no oven right now, but I plan on getting at least a small oven for smaller parts, and then I want to build one so I can actually powder coat the frame someday. I don't think I'll have time on this project. I'll probably just do it with spray paint. But yeah, I got to get this all cleaned up. I got to get the front end taken off of it. And this is going to be my dual sport bike. I've been using it for kind of my do everything bike for a long time. I really like the bike other than it's heavy, and it's got good power. I can run it down slow, I can go fast, I can run at the motocross track if I really want to. It's not the best at that, obviously, but it's still fun to go kick around at the track. I can ride it in the trails. It's street legal, so I can take this on a adventure trip. So I use this bike for everything. I was racing it. I did a GNCC and I did a Sprint Enduro. Both were very fun, but the biggest problem I had was the weight, obviously, and then when it would quit in the race, I could never get it started for some reason. Even though I can start this thing just fine in the trails in race conditions for whatever reason. Could not get it started, so it ruined a lot of my times. So I definitely want to get a lighter race bike and get something else dedicated to racing, and save some wear and tear on this thing and use it more for a casual riding bike with friends and trails, or dual sport types of activities. Anyway, there'll be more to come on this project, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching.